Hi everyone and welcome back to my channel. In today's video, I'll be showing you how to make these baggy wide leg Ankara Palazzo pants. It's a tongue twister, but let's get started. For this pair of trousers, you need 6 yards of fabric, 1 yard of elastic band, matching thread color, a pair of scissors, a long ruler, and your sewing machine. First, fold the fabric based on how wide you want the pants to be. To get this, measure your hip circumference, divide it by 4, and then add 4 to 5 extra inches for ease. Next, draw a straight guideline at the edge of the fabric. This is where you'll be marking out your vertical measurements. Now go ahead and mark out your desired trouser length. For me, it was 38 inches. I subtracted 2 inches from this for the waistband, but then added it back for seam allowance. Next, you're going to mark out your waist to hip measurement, which was 8 inches for me, and then your crotch depth. To measure your crotch depth measurement, you're going to need a flat surface like this chair, for example. Next, measure from your waistline down to where your bum meets the chair. This here is your accurate crotch depth measurement. For me, it was 12 inches. Now repeat those markings at the other side of your folded fabric and connect both sides with a straight line. Once you're done with that, you have the horizontal lines for your waistline, your hip depth, and your crotch depth. On your crotch depth line, you're going to take your hip circumference and divide it by 4 and then add 4 extra inches of ease. Once you've done that, repeat those same markings on your hip line and your waistline and connect all of them with a straight line. Back to the crotch line, you're going to mark out your crotch depth extension, which is usually between 2 to 4 inches. But to get your accurate measurement, you're going to divide your hips by 16, and whatever you get is your crotch depth extension. Now connect your crotch extension to your hip depth point. At the corner where the vertical line meets the crotch line, go up by 1 inch diagonally, basically drawing a 45-degree angle. Then use your curved ruler to smoothly join all 3 points and you get your crotch curve. Next, measure out everything you have on your crotch depth line and repeat the same measurement on both your hemline and your knee points. Then connect everything with a straight line. At this point, you can see the shape of the bottom half of your palazzo pants come together nicely. Finally, it's time to cut out the shape of your trousers. I'm using my electric scissors here because it makes life easier for me. It's not exactly something you need as a beginner, but then if you'd still like to get one, I got mine at Temu. You can find it on Amazon or at any hardware store close to you. I folded the fabric in half again, this time adding 4 inches to the width we used for the front panels. Now, place your front piece on the folded fabric. Mine isn't very visible because of the pattern of the fabric, but just follow along. Extend the vertical measurements from the front pieces by 2 inches. We're adding that extra length because the back, which is your bum, has more curve and volume than the front of your lower body. We're also extending the bottom half of your palazzo pants by 2 inches, from the crotch depth to the knee line to the hemline, and then we'll be connecting this point with a straight ruler. If you're new here and you haven't already, don't forget to like this video and subscribe to my channel. At your waistline, you want to go up by 1.5 inches to 2 inches. This will be your waistline extension, and this is what gives your bum enough space to move around, especially when sitting down. This is what prevents your bum from being shown to the public. Once that's done, just use your scissors to cut out the pattern for the back pieces. Since the fabric was unfolded, I also used my scissors to separate it at the edge since I have 2 back pieces. Now let's get into the pockets. From the line we have for your waistline, come down by 7 inches and notch it. To notch, just use your scissors to carefully snip that area, but not too much. For the pocket itself, I have a large piece of fabric that I folded into 4, and after folding it I had a square that was 8 by 8 inches, and now I used a freehand method to just curve out one edge. So you can just watch what I'm doing and follow along. And then after curving that edge, I used my scissors to cut it out and then to separate the folded edges so that I have 4 separate pieces for the pocket. I really do hope I'm explaining this well, but then if you have any questions, feel free to ask them in the comment section below this video. Now that all the pattern pieces have been cut out, I used my serger to just clean up the edges. If you don't have a serger, you can use the zigzag stitch of your sewing machine. Next, you're going to place the front pieces together with the front sides facing each other. What that means is that the nice part that's going to be showing outside should be kissing each other right now, so that you're only seeing the back side of the fabric, and then you're going to pin them together. Just repeat the same steps for the back pieces. Now on your sewing machine, starting with the front pieces, sew from your waistline down to the end of the crotch extension in one smooth straight line or 2 for extra security. Repeat those same steps for the back pieces. Before sewing the outer seams together, you're going to have to attach the pockets first. To do that, place the pocket on the fabric, right sides facing each other, at those areas that we notched, and then pin them together before taking it to your sewing machine to sew in a straight line. You should be left with something that looks like this. Now go to your iron and press out these seams before placing the front and the back pieces on top of each other once again. Now open up the front and back pieces and place both pieces together, right sides facing each other. Match up the crotch lines and sew along the inner leg seams in one smooth straight line. Once again, around the crotch area, you can go over with another straight line depending on how secure you want that area to be. Once that's done, place the front and the back pieces on top of each other once more, because now you'll be sewing down both the side seams and the pockets. Line up the edges properly and use your pins to hold the fabric together before taking it to the sewing machine. Use the dotted line shown on the screen right now to know how you'll be sewing the side seams. Now that the sides are sewn, let's work on the hem, which is the bottom of the trousers. Fold the edge up by 3/4 of an inch, then fold it again by another 3/4 of an inch. That makes 1.5 inches in total. Use your iron to press the fold so that it stays in place, and then sew along the edges. When you're done, it should look like this. Now let's work on the waistband. Start by measuring the full round length of the trouser's waist to confirm the waistband's length. Next, transfer what you get to 2.5 inch wide pieces of fabric. The total waistband length I'm using is 61 inches. I'm also adding 1 inch for seam allowance. Now place the 2 pieces together and sew along the top edge. Next, bring the 2 short edges together. Mark your 1 inch seam allowance with a chalk, then pin it and sew it down, making sure to leave a small opening to pass the elastic band through. Once you're done, press the seams of the waistband flat with an iron. Now, attach the waistband to the trousers by aligning the seams with the right sides of the fabric facing each other. Pin all the way around, then sew using 1/2 inch seam allowance. Once that's done, take your elastic and attach a safety pin to one end. For the elastic length, take your hip measurement and subtract 4 inches to make sure the waistband fits comfortably. I'm using this threading tool I got online specifically for inserting elastic in fabric. It makes the process so much easier. Use it to guide the elastic band through the waistband casing. Gently pull it through until it comes out on the other side, making sure it doesn't twist inside. Now, overlap the ends of the elastic and sew them together securely. After that, tuck the elastic back into the waistband and close the opening with a straight stitch. Finally, tuck stitch around the middle of the waistband, stretching it as you sew to evenly distribute the gathers, just like I'm doing in the video here. And just like that, your wide leg palazzo pants are complete. If you found this video helpful and easy to follow, don't forget to like, share and subscribe for more simple sewing tutorials just like this one. Feel free to also leave a comment if you have any questions. Thank you for watching and I'll see you all in my next video. Bye!